It's that time again, y'all. We are on the cusp of Black Friday 2022, and you're looking to snag a deal or two on home theater gear for your home theater. So, which 4K Dolby Atmos player should you invest in heading into 2023? Let's discuss! Disclaimer, while I may mention pricing sporadically throughout this video's main focus is on which 4K player is the best. So this video isn't going to be focusing on prices. You can do your own research for pricing. Apple TVs have been around for a while now, but Apple just released two new versions. The new Apple TV is available in two configurations: the Apple TV 4K Wi-Fi, which offers 64 gigabytes of storage, and the Apple TV 4K Wi-Fi Plus Ethernet, which offers support for Gigabit Ethernet for fast networking and streaming. It also supports Thread Mesh networking protocol to connect even more smart home accessories, and twice the storage of apps and games at 128 gigabytes. You can order the new Apple TV 4K with Siri Remote at a new starting price of $129 for the 64 gigabyte version, and $149 for the 128 gigabyte version. And within these new upgraded square-looking hockey pucks is the strongest Apple TV features yet: the A15 Bionic chip, which adds HDR10 Plus for you Samsung TV owners, alongside Dolby Vision, and HDMI 2.1, which gives you 4K 120, and there's also support for Wi-Fi 6. However, my biggest long-standing gripe with the Apple TV is no support for Dolby Atmos or DTS-X. Wait, what? Yes, you can get Dolby Atmos on the Apple TV with streaming services like Disney+, Amazon Prime Video, and Netflix, but if you've got a huge library of MKVs with Dolby Atmos and DTS-X tracks, and you're hoping to use something like Plex or MB on your Apple TV, then it's just not going to happen. For whatever reason, Apple refuses to give consumers access to bitstream audio for local content. Bitstream allows uncompressed audio, like your object-based audio formats, Dolby Atmos, and DTS-X, to be sent directly to your soundbar and receiver, and let your receiver process the audio, which it's designed to do. I love my Apple TV for streaming services because the user interface is the best there is out there. And once Apple supports Bitstream, if ever, I will jump ship from my NVIDIA Shield and Plex combo to the Apple TV. But until then, Apple remains a streaming service side piece. NVIDIA Shield TV is probably going to be the most versatile device on this list. It can play almost any audio and video codec and can be used as an emulator for gaming with hundreds of thousands of games. You can stream games from your computer to the Shield. It has a pretty legit AI 4K upscaling feature. It supports containers like MP4s, MKVs, it supports Dolby Atmos and DTS-X for streaming and local content. It has a built-in Plex server, USB ports for external hard drive expansion. It has HDR and Dolby Vision support, and it supports all of the big name streaming services. There's really not much that the NVIDIA Shield can't do, but it does have its limitations. Again, like the Apple TV, it can't play ISO files or BDMV folders if you want a complete one-to-one digital copy of your Blu-ray disc with menus, and it has no support for 3D. The flagship 2019 NVIDIA Shield version is more expensive, coming in at $199, $70 more than the Apple TV 4K. But keep your eyes open on Black Friday deals, as they usually go on sale during Black Friday. Zappiti and Zidoo products are the big boys on this list. Where the NVIDIA Shield can play almost anything, Zappiti and Zidoo products can play everything. These players are designed with high-end in mind. They support 4K 60, HDR10, HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision, low latency Dolby Vision, MP4, MKV, ISO files, BDMV folders, 3D Blu-ray, SMB, lossless playback for SACD. They have phone and tablet apps for remote control, and they can be integrated into your Control 4 systems, and much more. These 4K players allow you to stream your own content locally whether it be over your network or via an internal hard drive bay, or with external hard drives with support of up to 16 terabytes. I've used both Zappiti and Zidoo products in my home theater, and there is no question the audio and video experience leaves devices like the NVIDIA Shield and Apple TV in its dust.
Another one bites the dust.
If you want a more visceral video experience with better channel separation for audio, Zappiti and Zidoo products are the way to go. It's not even a question, but they too have their limitations. Because Zappiti and Zidoo products focus mainly on having the best audio and video experience, the user interface takes a hit with basic options and a lackluster on-screen experience when compared to something like Plex.
As soon as the Zappiti comes on, this is the layout. So this is pretty basic, and I would say this is probably the most basic user interface that I've ever seen.
You're basic.
The Zidoo does have a better intuitive user interface than Zappiti, with more customization, but it still leaves a lot to be desired.
All right, so when we turn on the Zidoo, this is what we are greeted with. Now, I much prefer this user interface rather than the Zappiti's interface, which is, I said in my previous video of that, which is very, very basic. This still isn't my favorite. I still think Plex has the upper hand by a long shot on how their user interface is laid out. But I do like this.
And you won't find big name streaming apps on Zidoo or Zappiti products, as again, these players are aimed at a very specific niche. Home theater enthusiasts who want the best home theater experience with the highest audio and video fidelity one can have for their local content. I know what you're gonna say, Oppo players are extinct. But if we're talking about the best 4K players on the market, I can't have this list without including Oppo's now defunct 203 and 205 players. Even though they stopped manufacturing them years ago, the 203 and 205 4K Blu-ray players from Oppo are still beloved for their top-notch build quality and their stellar performance for audio and video files. Till this day, there are many enthusiasts who believe that you will not find a better performing 4K Blu-ray player on the market than the 203 and the 205. Oppo players were the original players who can still almost do it all. They can do DVDs, SACDs, 4K Blu-ray with HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision, and low latency Dolby Vision support, 3D Blu-ray, BDMV, SMB support, external playback for MKV and MP4s on hard drives with object-based audio, and DLNA support. However, there is no support for stock streaming apps, but if you're buying an Oppo player, you're not going to be buying it to stream compressed content. While they are no longer being manufactured, you can still snag one off of Amazon or eBay. However, don't pay the exuberant prices that people are charging for them. And if you still have a 203 or a 205 and you don't care about NKVs or MP4s, then congrats. You still have one of the best 4K players on the market who can pretty much do it all. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where's the Amazon Fire Sticks and Rokus of the world? While those devices are good streaming devices that have support for a ton of apps, I purposefully left them off this list because, in my opinion, they're just massively inferior to every other device on this list. And this video is all about which device is the best in 2022. That being said, always do your research to see which device best fits your needs. You may not need a Plex server. You might not care about bitstream audio for local ripped content. In that case, go with something simple like a Roku or Fire Stick that's just plug and play. So, which one of these devices would I pick if I were building a home theater? This is a really tough choice, as the Apple TV 4K, the NVIDIA Shield TV, Zappiti and Zidoo, and Oppo 203 and 205 players all have great high fidelity options with some minor drawbacks, some more than others. There is no one player that does everything better than the competition, and whichever device you go with, you'll have to sacrifice some features. But if I want the best audio and video experience at the most affordable price, I'm gonna have to go with Zidoo. Though my time with it has been limited, I'm already loving my Z9X. You pretty much get the same features as Zappiti and a little more, and they're cheaper, and you don't have to go through a dealer to purchase, as they're widely available on Amazon. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description for the Z9X and other Zidoo products. So that's my pick for the best 4K player in 2022. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my selections down in the comments. Okay, I know I threw a Kaleidescape in that thumbnail, but that thing is like $8,000. So we won't discuss that today because that's just not a realistic piece of gear that the average consumer is going to be able to afford during Black Friday. And no, the Kaleidescape isn't mine. I am your average consumer. I'm borrowing it until it's time to give it back. But I will try to make a review video on it at some point, so stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. That's going to conclude it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it helpful during this Black Friday shopping season. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button and share it with your friends. For Haterade Cowboy Cinema, I'm Haterade Cowboy, and I'll see you guys in the next video.